Welcome to Helping Hands with your hosts, John Neiman and Judy Ritchie.
Hello and welcome to Helping Hands. This is our opportunity to let you in the community know how you can lend a helping hand to a program, agency, or someone in need. I'm Judy Ritchie with Oshkosh Family Meals on Wheels, and you may have noticed John is not sitting here to my right today. We've decided this is the Judy Show. This is Judy Britton, a longtime community volunteer and who's generously offered to co-host today in John's absence. We'd like to get well wishes out to John. He's injured his foot and is sort of out of commission today. Where are you going to be able to see our show or hear our show? We're going to be on Time Warner, on Oshkosh Media, Life TV, online at oshkoshmedia.org, or listen on Oshkosh FM 101.9. So tune in to us. We're on several times a week and look forward to hearing from you. Our sponsors are Aurora Healthcare and Harnix Flowers and Gifts. So on that note, Judy, would you like to introduce our guest, please?
Absolutely. Well, we have with us today Gina Paulson, and she is the box office and volunteer coordinator at the Grand, and we are very happy to have you with us. And you have a guest that you brought with you.
Thank you for having us. My guest here is Joyce Tuchel. She's one of our very hardworking volunteers at the Grand Opera House.
Great.
And the Grand Opera House has got a long history here in Oshkosh. And can you just give us a little brief synopsis, please, for someone who may not be so familiar?
Sure. The Grand Opera House has been around since 1883. It's gone through multiple renovations, but we are now a 660-seat venue, performing arts venue. We do everything from theater to music to mixed media, all on our stage. And we also have a lounge area that's open before and during performances that patrons can grab a beverage and hang out and socialize before the performances.
You also have weddings there occasionally, correct?
Occasionally, yes. It's something we're actually looking to expand on. And but yes, there are ceremonies that are held within the theater and sometimes receptions in the lounge space that I mentioned.
So it's a really beautiful place to have things.
Yes.
So
beautiful weddings. I attended a couple, and they are gorgeous there.
With your volunteering, Joyce, with your volunteering at the Grand, what kind of background checks or application did they have you do?
We go through training before
Okay.
we usher, and we greet people as they come in, and we take their coats, and we take their tickets and tell them where to go, and we usher them to their seat. And then if they need to leave the theater during the performance, we provide a flashlight and guide them out of the theater. And then after the show, we clean up a little bit, and so we do a lot of different jobs, not just ushers. So.
Okay.
How does someone apply to become a volunteer?
I believe they just contact the Grand and show them, that they want to usher, and then they have to go through a training program.
And then you put us to work then?
Yes, there is a formal application we fill out. We do check some references and kind of sit down with the person to see what their exact expectations are. But yeah, it's a pretty easy process, and we're definitely welcoming of anybody that wants to give their time at the Grand.
Well, I have a neighbor who volunteers, and she said it's a wonderful way of seeing all the different events without paying the ticket price and really having a good view of what's going on.
Definitely.
So on the screen we have a couple of things about volunteering at the Grand, and you want to read those off?
Sure. A couple of our different options. At performances, our performances typically take place on weekends and evenings. Our Student Discovery Series are weekday shows for student or school-aged children, and so those take place during the day. And then we're trying to develop our tour program, so would be utilizing docents or tour guides kind of by appointment at this time.
And that's also searching for the ghost?
Well, personally, everybody has different opinions on the ghosts, but there are great tours that kind of focus on the ghosts. They have the Spirits of the Grand tours right around Halloween time, but lots of folks are just interested in the history and the beauty of the Grand and love to learn more about that.
How many volunteers do you have at the Grand?
I would say our pool is right around 75, with 55 being pretty active. The number does go down a little bit in the winter season as people like to vacation where it's a little bit warmer. But yeah, right around
75?
Yeah.
And sort of why do you volunteer at the Grand as opposed to maybe coming and volunteering with me or any of the other programs in the community? What's so special about it?
I just love the theater. It is so beautiful, and I'm just in awe of it every time I come. And the people that I usher with are just marvelous. And she's amazing. She is such a wonderful addition to the Grand. And I think the Grand is just something so unique that I really love coming there to usher. It doesn't seem like a job or anything. It's just a pleasure to come in and usher and whatever.
How often do you volunteer?
I think they had about 48 different things to usher for, and I think I covered just about all of them. Plus I do the student shows also, which is you get in about 8:30 and get through about 2 o'clock. And we get like 600 children in the morning and in the afternoon for the shows. There's a lot of times they read books, and then they have the actors, like they're from New York and all over. They're very professional, and it's really a good show. And they come from all over, from Marzan and Ripon and the busload of these kids. And they're such an awe of the theater. It's really cute.
So volunteering for the Grand could be almost a full-time occupation for you.
It could be.
Judy?
Do you have an appreciation program thanking the volunteers for helping?
We do. Our current appreciation program in place is called Grand Bucks. It's our own kind of made-up form of currency in which for every hour that they work, there's a rate of Grand Bucks that they get. And then these Grand Bucks can be put towards purchasing tickets so they can take a night off and enjoy the show for themselves without having to work during it. So, yeah, and then we do usually once a season, sometimes twice, host a kind of party, get-together, potluck of sorts. Sometimes it's themed, sometimes it's just like, with Christmas, for everybody to get together and socialize and thank one another for helping out and, making the Grand a better place.
Great.
What are some of the new opportunities that you would like to see made available? Because you're new with your position, and you have some new ideas, and so what sorts of things are in your dreams?
Like I was mentioning, definitely the tour program. We're definitely looking to develop that more and to get a pool of docents together that help to embrace the history of the Grand and want to share that with others. So that's one thing we're definitely looking into for sure. That's my biggest thing that I'm working on at the moment.
And any others?
Not at the moment. I think eventually it would be nice to have some more volunteers helping out with various office tasks. We do have one that kind of helps with the Grand Bucks program on her own, but various office things could be helpful to us as well.
Are you going to do the Grand Scoop this year?
We are taking a break from the Grand Scoop. We are kind of working on a different kickoff party. Because this season's winding down, the next one will be taking place starting in September, so we're working on a kickoff party for the summer of sorts.
How many shows are left for this season?
Just a few. In May, we have OCP, or Oshkosh Community Players. They're doing You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. And then North and West high schools are combining to do As You Like It. And then we also have Blue Suede Shoes at the beginning of June, and Annie Moses Band, which had been rescheduled and is now on June 10th. And then our last kind of big performance of the season is the community band has their free performance in the middle of June.
Okay, so that's only a few things.
Yeah, that's just a few left.
And any teasers for next season yet, or?
Not yet. I know our spring campaign will be coming out right away in May. That's our spring donation drive campaign, and that brochure will definitely have some teasers and a lot of information in it for that. So that's about all I can say there.
And what are some of the favorite shows or activities that you like to see over there?
Well, I'm a big Elvis fan, and it's coming. So in June, and we have front row seats for that one. They fulfilled my wish there for an Elvis show, and I don't know. They had this Beaujolais there. I love the French music, the Cajun music. That was really good. I don't know. I'd like to have them come back, and but they're very versatile with their schedule. I think they covered pretty much what I wanted to see. So.
I think Joyce is taking off that night. She's not going to
Well, you
volunteer
notice
that
she
evening.
said she's got front row seats.
Right,
so
front
we
row
know
seats.
that.
So, right.
And Gina, you're of a different generation than we are. So what are the things that you see over there that are really intriguing to you and your cohorts?
I know one show that I really liked, and I didn't know anything about him really till I got here, was Elpin Hong. He does an artist residency with us where he kind of visits some different places around the community, shares some music, and then also does a performance at the Grand. That was really cool to see just the impact that the music could make in all different walks of life. So that was very cool. Some of the community theater, just the stuff that they're able to pull off despite their kind of almost, I don't want to say smaller scale, but given that some of the stuff that they can pull off is amazing. I know Hysterical Productions is done Into the Woods, and they have special effects and music, and it's just great that they can make that all happen.
Well, and I think you just sort of touched on something. Judy and I just recently worked at a People's Choice art show. And we have the high school students in with their art. And the quality of work that are coming out of the youth today compared to what we have in our mind sometimes from years ago is so different. And with the theatrical productions, the music and things, are you seeing that sort of that same thing?
Oh yes, it's great. I know when Oshkosh North High School did Sound of Music this season, they had sellout nights and the performances were great. Lourdes High School did The Music Man, and so many people were looking forward to that performance, and it was very, very well done. So yes, it does reflect through the local community and the local youth, for sure.
Okay. When you look at what's out in the community, say the PAC, with the Widener Center and the Grand, what do you see coming to the Grand? Sort of similar, but maybe a smaller scale?
I think it's hard. For me, I see it a little bit differently.
Okay.
To me, it's a little bit apples and oranges. The PAC is so new, and they have a much larger stage that they
Absolutely.
can incorporate all those Broadway shows. We're a historic theater. We're just a little bit smaller, but I would say all the events are quality, given whether it's the Widener, the PAC, or the Grand. They're all quality events. They all do great programming. It's just each kind of caters to a little bit different audience in my eyes.
Well, remember when we went to the jazz concert years ago?
Oh, yes.
I think the rafters were shaking that night.
I think so.
Because it was, and it's, I've been to the PAC and I've been to the Grand, and you're right, the shows are different, but there's something about the Grand, and because it's smaller and cozier, there's a different comfort level and everything. You just feel more a part of it.
Yes.
And to me, that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, it's great to have that facility in this community because it really is historic.
Well, and a fun fact is the fact that you could be in the back top corner of the gallery and you're less than 80 feet from the stage. They've done the math, and it's a very intimate theater, and I think that makes it really special.
And the acoustics are just fantastic
Yes, they
in
are.
there.
And we remember from way back when we were in high school of what there was to, as young adults, to the entire renovation process to what we have today, and how wonderful it is to come in and be a part of everything there.
Yeah.
So time is running down. Any last minute things on how to contact you?
You can reach me phone, email, stop by the box office. They have all my information.
Okay, your phone number?
The phone number for the administrative office is 920-424-2355.
And your email?
Gina P, so GINAP, at grandoperahouse.org.
Okay. And Joyce? I know, and you're coughing, I'm sorry. Anything that you'd like to say?
Come to the Grand. It's a beautiful place, and you'll have a very good time, and it's just a really great experience for anybody.
Well, and we do thank you, ladies, for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's certainly been good to hear all the things that we've missed.
Absolutely,
And,
yes.
and what's yet to come.
Yeah.
With all
and
these wonderful ideas.
next season is supposed to be just as big, if not bigger, than what this past season. So we're looking for another great, fun-filled season.
Okay.
We're looking forward for those teasers.
Yes. Right. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you have expired or unused medication, don't flush it, pour it down the drain, or toss it in the trash. Safely dispose of unwanted or expired medications at the drug drop box located inside the Oshkosh Police Department. It's convenient and anonymous, safe and secure, and it's open to everyone 24/7. Drop off your prescriptions, over-the-counter drugs, pet meds, and more. Keep drugs out of the reach of children and out of our water supply. Dispose of unwanted or expired medications at the drug drop box. For more information, visit the Oshkosh Police Department website at oshkoshpd.com.
Wisconsin is losing our World War II veterans. If you were a World War II veteran, or you know one who hasn't gone on an honor flight to D.C., please help us. The Wisconsin Broadcasters Association is partnering with all Wisconsin honor flight hubs to make sure every eligible vet remaining who served their country so selflessly gets the chance to go. It's time for them to see their memorial. It's time for their flight. To learn more or to make a donation, go to wisconsinhonorflight.org.
Hello, and welcome back to Helping Hands. I'm Judy Ritchie with Oshkosh Family Meals on Wheels.
I'm Judy Britton, volunteer advocate in the community.
And Judy is substituting for John today, who's injured his foot and out of commission. So we wish him well
Yes.
and get well soon, so he'll be back with us. And so this gives us a chance to talk about all the different volunteer opportunities in the community.
Right.
And of course, you spent 50 years, isn't that a lot of years,
Yes.
with cerebral palsy. And we have a lot of opportunities there.
Many opportunities at Cerebral Palsy of Mideast, Wisconsin. And also all the other organizations, Boys and Girls Club and the Girl Scouts and Family Service, your organization. There's just so many volunteer opportunities in this community that people can fill in and help us out.
Well, back in, was at the end of March? No, April 1st, we had the United Way Day of Caring, and that was a really good opportunity to introduce people to volunteering for some of the organizations and
Yes.
some of the opportunities. So with that, it was everything from yard work to office work to making greeting cards to whatever. And your experience with that?
Well, I did a lot of yard work and a lot of moving of furniture, and so as you said, there's a lot of opportunity there, and it's a great way of getting into the volunteer sector. If you've never volunteered before, that's a great way of doing it.
And one of the things that I see a lot of are students, especially this time of year, students needing their service hours for classes for school, for confirmation, university students who have some infractions that they need to get cleared up so they can graduate.
Right.
And we look, we try to develop those opportunities. And again, some of the things, you see a little different perspective than I do of where they could be used. You want to share some of that?
Well, I think, we've got, for instance, Cerebral Palsy of Mid-East Wisconsin has a Star Show coming up, and that's done by volunteers in the community who have volunteered for a number of years to help out and attend the event. And that's coming up on May 10th, so that's another opportunity where we could, use some extra hands on that evening too.
Mm-hmm. And service clubs. A lot people don't
Yes.
think about it in terms of the Rotary, Kiwanis,
Altrusa,
the Optimist,
yeah.
that they see this as a professional organization. But within these organizations, those members are volunteering in the community.
That's correct. And, you have the Women's Association also.
Right.
That just, business people who get together on a quarterly basis, and besides that quarterly basis, they're in the community volunteering. You're absolutely right.
Right, and whether it be fundraisers or just the hands-on otherwise. And it's a good way to get to know new people,
Yeah.
to do something good for the community, to the networking for job opportunities, and for students to find out what they want to do when they grow up. Some of us at our age don't even know what we want to do when
That's
we grow
right.
up.
We're still
Well-
looking.
What we're going to do when we retire.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
again,
Great opportunities, really. I think, and there's so many things to do in our community. We just talked about the Grand, and there's just the EAA Museum, the Veterans Museum. There's just so many places where I think would spark anyone's interest to help out and volunteer in our community.
mm-hmm. One of the things too is, as I'm trying to downsize, as I move closer to retirement and what I'm going to do in the next stage of my life, I've been going through a lot of family papers too, and have been emailing back and forth with the museum. And we have a family tree that is not the normal boxes down and everything. It actually is the design of a tree with all the names in there. So between Deb Daubert and Scott Cross, this is something that the museum has not had a whole lot of.
Mm-hmm.
And with our family being in Winnebago County since before 1862, it's something that they're interested in acquiring.
That's good that you're doing that, but I don't think you're not old enough to retire. Don't think about that yet, Judy.
Well, I'll get there eventually. But people, as they're downsizing, as they're moving on to the next stage in life, there are the volunteer opportunities, but we also need to think about what are you doing with some of those household things or these other
Yes.
pieces that your family doesn't want.
Right.
And so with us, that family tree piece is something a little bit different. But how many times is there a gorgeous piece of jewelry or something, and the family, I'm not interested, and where it could be passed on? We've had in the past with one of the events we were involved with, where it was used as part of a special auction, special raffle,
Right.
and it raised a fair amount of dollars for the organization. People who are getting rid of the fabric and yarn. Yarn, John is always looking for more yarn at the at Aurora for the Knitter's Nook. The prison has a knitting program. There's the anti-bullying campaign scarves that are done, specific yarns, but for the fifth graders, to identify the fifth graders as being the leaders in the school. Other things, it just goes on and on and on.
Yeah, it really does. I think, another place where I think First English Lutheran Church does yarn, and they knit scarves for one of the schools for all the children in that school. I think it's Jefferson School. So that all the children have, you know, the hats and the mittens and the scarves.
And for Salvation Army.
For the coats, yeah.
And as we end the school year and get ready for fall, there's always the back to school fair, but there's also the teacher's closet over at Peace Lutheran.
Peace Lutheran.
And the need for school supplies there. Because we've got a lot of new teachers in the district every year.
Right.
They don't have everything they need for the classroom. And so it's a great opportunity.
And Teacher's Closet is open all year long.
No, they're closed over summer, but they
in
accept
the summer,
donations
right.
all year long.
So that's good to know that you can still give the donations in the summertime.
And you volunteer for a ton of different activities. You
Yes.
wanna share that with them?
Well, I think you just do it, and you love to volunteer, and so you just go out and you do it, and you don't even remember everything you are doing. Just got done moving some things for our Trusa Club this morning into our new storage unit, and still volunteer for cerebral palsy.
Still volunteer for United Way.
United Way, absolutely, and Irish Fest is coming up soon, and I'll be volunteering for that. So it's a little bit of everything.
And I'm the same way, and as I transition in life, I'm looking for different opportunities, and Wisconsin Warmers are probably going to be a place that I'll go. Other things that way. In fact, one of the things that we neglected to mention is just as we're taping the program today, we've got volunteers that are working behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
There's also the
Right.
Friends of OCN, which is a
Yes.
volunteer board. There's Committee on Aging. There's all these Friends of the Senior Center. There's all these opportunities out there. And the list just goes on.
And I think, the important thing is that if someone is looking and doesn't know where to go, they have the opportunity of calling you at Oshkosh Family or John at Aurora, because you folks really have those numbers and contacts. And so if someone is interested in doing it, that they should know that they can
Right.
definitely contact you.
Right, and John's number at Aurora is 456-7013, and mine at Meals on Wheels is 651-3316. And one of the important things about volunteering is we don't expect you to be happy with everything you're doing. It's kind of like, come to us, see what we've got to offer is what you're really interested in. And as I tell people, try it on for size. If you don't like it, say, gee, I'm really sorry. I'd like to try something different, and go on to another organization. That's okay.
And
We're
it
not
doesn't have
offended.
to be 8 hours a day either.
No.
It can be 1 hour a day. It can be half an hour a day. Whatever they can give.
I do grant writing for an organization. I love it because I'm working from home in my jammies at whatever hour suits me, as long as I've produced the results.
Right.
And a lot of times. So on that note, it's kind of time to wind down. So any last words that you want to say?
I just, it's been a joy being co-host for the first time, I believe, here, and that was fun. And talking about volunteerism, that's just my favorite thing, so I thank you.
Oh, thank you. So anyway, I'm Judy Ritchie with Oshkosh Family Meals on Wheels. We send out good get well wishes to John. Hope he's going to be back with us soon. And on that note, thank you. See you soon.